You wait outside a walk-up in Bushwick at 6 p.m. for a tenant who stopped answering your texts 3 hours ago. The process concludes when you verify the floor load capacity for a 4-ton kinetic sculpture at 220 Central Park South. You carry 3 portable chargers and a ring of 24 keys. You climb 5 flights of stairs in a Long Island City walk-up. The radiator hisses. You check the lockbox 3 times before the showing starts. You wait for a couple earning a combined $95,000 to sign a lease. Is the steam supposed to smell like copper? Rental agents in New York City work 60 hours per week for a median annual income of $52,000, according to the New York Department of Labor. Douglas Elliman reports the average security deposit in Manhattan rose to $3,800 in 2024. Your commission is 1 month's rent, minus the 50% brokerage split. You stand in the narrow hallway while the tenant checks the water pressure. The blue light of your phone screen is the only illumination in the foyer. You eat a protein bar on the G-Train platform at 11 p.m. You tell yourself that every signed lease is a brick in the foundation of a future portfolio. You drive a white, leased Lexus to a 3-bedroom split level in Jersey City. You arrange 4 gray throw pillows on a beige sofa. You spray a synthetic lavender scent into the foyer. You print 60 color brochures at a FedEx office in a strip mall. The list price is $850,000. New Jersey property taxes average $9,500 per year. You host an open house for 4 hours on a Sunday. You offer bottled water to 22 couples. The National Association of Realtors reports that 87% of agents leave the industry within 5 years. You collect 32 email addresses. You spend Monday morning entering them into a Salesforce CRM. You tell yourself that the volume of leads is the only metric that matters for your career trajectory. You sit in the back of a black Suburban. Your lead broker negotiates a $4.5 million closing in Tribeca. You hold the iPad. You record the punch list items. You check the Calacatta marble slabs for hairline fractures. You call the staging company to remove the mid-century modern wishbone chairs. Manhattan residential transactions over $4 million require a New York State mansion tax of at least 1%. You receive a 10% share of the 2.5% buy-side commission. The National Association of Realtors classifies the top 5% of the residential market by price as luxury. You tell yourself that observing the silence of a high-stakes negotiation is worth the lack of a personal life. You hire a drone pilot to film a $12 million estate in the Hamptons. You authorize $15,000 for digital marketing before the first gate opens. Marketing costs for residential listings over $10 million frequently exceed $25,000. The phone rings at 2 in the morning. You answer an attorney's question regarding the riparian rights of the shoreline. You review a proof of funds letter from a Swiss private bank. Is the view worth the liability? A private chef prepares a tasting menu in the marble kitchen. You stand by the island while he plates the sea bass. Following the 2024 NAR settlement, listing agents are no longer required to offer a specific commission to buyer brokers on the multiple listing service. You watch the sun move below the edge of the infinity pool. You tell yourself that your network is the only asset that does not depreciate with the market. You do not use the MLS. You call 3 people. You describe a floor-through unit on Billionaire's Row. You meet the buyer's representative at a hotel bar in Midtown. You hand over a thumb drive containing the architectural plans. The price is $45 million. You sign a non-disclosure agreement before mentioning the street address. You wait 3 weeks for a response. Off-market listings account for 10% of all luxury transactions in major U.S. hubs. The average time to close a $20 million residential property is 180 days. You tell yourself that the less people know about the deal, the higher the probability of the closing. You stand on the 90th floor. The wind vibrates the window glass. You record the decibel level with a handheld meter. You time the elevator ascent from the lobby. The car reaches the 90th floor in 48 seconds. You verify the building's water filtration system meets hospital-grade standards. The buyer asks about the drone shielding capabilities of the exterior glass. Specialized high-rise glass costs $500 per square foot. You provide a printed report from an independent security consultant. The transaction price is $110 million. Miller Samuel data shows New York City penthouses sell for a 15% premium per square foot. You check the floor load capacity. You fly to Singapore. You meet a director in a terminal. You present a portfolio of properties in Miami, London, and New York. The value is $600 million. You discuss air rights and tax abatements. You show no photos of bedrooms. You show spreadsheets of square footage and zoning laws. Family offices manage $6 trillion in assets. Real estate comprises 15 to 25% of these portfolios. The director signs for the Miami assets. You hand over the document. You board the flight. You sit in silence for 16 hours. You update the spreadsheet. You land at Teterboro. You drive to Manhattan. You enter a building. You sit in an office with no windows. You review the biometric access logs for a building you helped develop. The residents do not have names in your system. They have codes. You adjust the occupancy limits for the private dining club. The Treasury Department's geographic targeting order requires title insurance companies to identify the beneficial owners of shells used in all-cash luxury real estate purchases. In 2026, the reporting threshold for these transactions is $300,000 nationwide. You sign a contract for a $200 million penthouse. The buyer is an LLC registered in the Cayman Islands. You place the file in a drawer. You turn off the desk lamp. A young woman in a sharp suit enters the lobby of the building. She carries a ring of keys and 3 portable chargers. She waits by the elevators. Do you remember the weight of those keys? You walk past her toward the glass doors. You do not look at her. She looks at her phone and waits for the light to turn green. You step onto the sidewalk and signal for a car. The building remains standing long after the names on the deeds change.